failure. But I'm not going to be you. You're really going to burn yourself out even during the first year of work. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Dr. Gloria Park. I am a dentist working in New Jersey and New York. After graduation, I moved to LA for 1 year and then moved back after 1 year to start working in New York, New Jersey area. Been 2 years working and here I am. I wanted to film this content, and actually this is my third time filming because I really want to just share what's been like dear to my heart. I think there's a lot of unknowns out there when you graduate from dental school or your residency. Nobody likes to talk about like their failures and their struggles because they don't want to look a certain way. So it feels just like yesterday when I was pre-dental, I thought I just have to get into dental school and life would be so easy. So I started dental school, it was not easy. And then now you're trying to finish your graduation requirements and you're just like, I just have to graduate and life will be so good because I'm gonna be making money. Well, let me tell you, it's not sunshine and rainbows for everybody. Depending on where you work and how you choose your first jobs, I think your experience as a dentist may be greatly different. And the reason that I am like spilling my heart out and sharing my personal failures and struggles working as an associate for the past 2 years is because I don't want you guys to go through the same struggles that I did. And I wish somebody would explain this darn thing of like, okay, so like what is life after school? So many people just kind of like go through these like anonymous posts on Reddit or Instagram page to like vent and then burn out by themselves, and I feel like there's not enough conversations about this whole job thing. Like I see some of my peers, they get gifts from the patients all the time and they seem to love what they do. And then maybe I'm in this like crappy office where I feel like not motivated and just fatigued and wondering like when I'm going to like retire because I have so much bills to pay. So that being said, I wanted to really share everything that I have, and I have a couple notes here, but the issue is I always film around 3 p.m. and the sun sets around this time, and then the quality of this video is not great, and then like the whole aesthetic thing. So anyways, I'm going to divide this out in a couple parts. It might be part 1 and 2, or it might be up to part 3. Maybe I will do another Q&A depending on the questions I get. So here are the life lessons I have learned. So we're gonna start with number 1, mentality. Okay guys, majority of us will suck. Just let it sink in. It's gonna suck. I'm not kidding, like it's going to suck. And let me tell you why. Because we haven't had enough practice to put what our concepts and whatever we've been taught in school, which sometimes could be outdated, and carrying out to real life situations is different. You're not going to be doing crazy AEGD, like composite restorations on every single one thinking you're doing them a favor. Maybe that your restoration is not going to last long because of your current technique difficulty and will end up needing a root canal. Maybe it will fail. Or you haven't looked enough on the radiograph to understand maybe this was a losing game to start. And I think that diagnostic lens that you're going to develop over life is going to come with time. You have to understand and just like let it sink. Like I am going to suck. Like just take a deep breath and just like let it soak in. I am a failure. But I just want you to like embrace it, because once you embrace the worst, like what is the worst that can happen? So when I entered dental school, I was like, I am going to be the best dentist ever. And I studied so hard. I was so afraid to pulp out in clinic and then freaked out about denture and teeth setting. And then here you are at the finish line. Well, I was hit with the COVID shutdown, so my clinical experience was limited. So I am like that branded scarlet letter, like COVID graduate, like entering the job market, and like now what? So I was not ready, so I did residency. Now, 1 year residency, of course, it could boost your confidence depending on where you go. For me, in my case, it didn't. So now I felt like I was like a year behind, now trying to catch up to real life work, and still feeling like I don't know enough. I am not good enough. And then everything came down to this. This sounds really counterintuitive, but hear me out. The best expectation that you can set for yourself is to have very little expectations on yourself. You have to live and get through every day at work, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if you have a bad day on Monday, can you mentally get up and try again on Tuesday? And then maybe there's a bad review and your manager is mad at you and your owner doc is like fixing up all your problems on Wednesday. Can you go through that? And if you have this expectation that you have to be perfect, you're really going to burn yourself out even during the first year of work. So the best expectation I had to myself was Gloria, just don't kill anybody. Don't do anything that is greatly like disturbing. Like know which tooth you're extracting, know your limits. But like at the end of the day, did the patient die? No. Are you okay? Yes. Is the patient okay? Yes. Did you do your best? Yes, I did my best. And I think sometimes we just don't give ourselves break for that piece. You did your best. You're gonna get better. That lesson is going to humble you. It's gonna push you to look up one more video on an extraction on how to extract this tooth better and faster next time, to how to do this crown restoration on a tiny little tooth structure, to everything. That difficulty is going to like grow you. So like don't think you have to be picture perfect ready on your day one on your job. I think that is like the mentality that a lot of people go into, and I've listened to so many panelists in school telling me the same thing, and like not gonna lie, I was gonna be like, but I'm not going to be you. I'm gonna be more ready than anybody else. Don't you want to live happy? Just set healthy expectations for yourself. Don't tell yourself you can't do anything, but don't tell yourself that you can do everything. Like I think that somewhere in the middle is a healthy place to start. I just really want to be with that. Number 2, dental school education is not the only way. That is the most familiar way, and that is like maybe what is considered safe and gold standard. But how many general dentists actually put rubber dam on every composite, or sometimes even root canals? Be realistic, your time is money. These patients do not want you to go from tooth number 1 to tooth number 32 naming what these things are and then what could be better. And then if this restoration will last long, they just want you to figure out the primary objectives of the treatment and which one will be the best option given multiple options. It's not about having the most comprehensive treatment plan. It's about having, of course, something comprehensive, but something that will fix the patient's chief complaint and the burning fire in their mouth that needs to be put out, and like priority. And again, you have to understand, will that restoration last long enough? Like, will my work last long enough? Is it not worth it? For example, a patient has dental insurance and you do a filling on a very deep cavity, and you know you might pulp out and you might be able to put the base and liner and then fit it, and then that might be okay for you. But then later, if they need root canal within the same year, sometimes the insurance doesn't cover for it and the patient blames us. Or you might have a very periodontally involved tooth that has a lot of bone loss, and now you're like, do I try to crown this tooth or extract this tooth and put an implant? Like, what do I do? Those are the what do I do situations. Sometimes it's in the gray. And I think over time, you'll figure out what works for you. And I think because of that, I wanted to really ask a lot of these cases to my mentors. So I really got into the habit of taking a lot of photos of the x-rays or like intraoral camera photos. And maybe ask somebody else that has more experience than me, say, hey, like, what would you do in your situation? And I will tell you, I sent this to like 3 different people, and 3 different people had 3 different opinions. So there you have it. You have to develop your own lens, and there is no one right answer. AI can detect cavities and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, you're the one doing the work. You should feel comfortable what you are doing. So also understand, with the limits and the finances of the patient and your own chair time, you have to make sense. All this to say, where was I going with this? Be open-minded. What? Set healthy expectations and boundaries for yourself so that you can go to work each day with more excitement than like in defeat. I just wish somebody else would not like drag their feet to work feeling like, oh, I didn't memorize this, I didn't know this, I haven't reviewed this, and then like panic, because I literally brought my iPad or laptop with me to work every single day, and I tried to study like if I'm not working every single time. It just made me more anxious. Like at some point, you just have to be like, I'm gonna do my best. If I don't know, I'm gonna ask people. I'm gonna learn from this. If you're like a type of a neurotic, type A, lazy perfectionist like me, then you will know that you will never be perfect to work every single day. Just know your place, you know? You're starting, you're just starting. You're not gonna do full mouth cases and do like wonders. You're not even gonna understand what central relation is. You're just not, and that's okay. If you do, good for you. You know what? Why are you watching my content anyway? So for those who are still in school or finishing on residency or waiting for your dental license to come, because that can take like weeks to months, I would go over your dental school notes, especially the clinical ones, and just kind of like understand and maybe organize in a way that if you do need to look it up for a quick reference, you know where to find them. The education taught in dental school is like not the end all be all. There's so much more, and be open-minded, be teachable. But at the same time, don't believe everything that everybody says. Like, you will also figure that out on your own. So take everything in with a grain of salt and try to implement one at a time and see if that is something that you enjoy doing. Maybe some people like doing the snowplow method for like fillings, right? I hate that. I used to put like a mix of composite in the thingy, and it just didn't work for me. And so now I only use packable composites only. But then I know some people just do like bulk flow. So everybody does things differently, and that's okay. But you have to be willing to try it and also work in the office that will support your different approaches, right? Because if they're really fixed on one style and they don't let you, you're not gonna really grow in different skill sets. You're just gonna be able to replicate what the owner wants you to do. Know your foundation, be open-minded, and be excited, and try not to be so like defeated. I don't know. Maybe that was just my personal experience. Not everything was like, wow, I'm a doctor, I'm living the life, like this is amazing. Like, I don't know how many of us like after graduation actually truly feel that way. And if you do, like, I really applaud you. And if you don't, it's okay. It's really okay. I just wish somebody would say that. It's okay to not know and not like be good at everything. Like, I don't know what the holdup is. Like, we just getting started. And lastly, for your mentality is learn to stand your ground. If your office is not paying you on time, you stand on your ground, okay? I know some doctors, they don't even go to work the next day because they didn't get paid. Like, it's like people do crazy stuff, make sure they get paid. But I think us new grads, like, we don't want to cause trouble. We don't want to start on the wrong foot. We're afraid of like getting retaliated or everything. Like, there's more for them to be like ashamed by the things that they are not doing right on their end. And I think at some point you do have to be vocal, like nice, but like firm, you know? So I think those are the 3 mentalities that I wanted to go over in case you were one of people like me. See, the sun is setting already, so definitely I'm not finishing this video today. Job search. Working in DSO versus Medicaid versus private offices. You have so many crazy jobs on Indeed. Why should I pay you that much? And I was like, what is this nonsense? Didn't we all enter dentistry because we love what we do? You're a doctor. You should know where you're getting paid and where you're not getting paid, and you have the right to know.